Well, hi guys and gals, it's me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. And you notice that there is something missing here from the back of my shed. My parts car for the HHR used to be parked here, and there used to be a lean-to roof. And you can see the pile of metal in the background that used to be spread all over out here, and there were parts of a roof that we had torn off out back. And I had my grandchildren over here and my children on Saturday, and we spent the day. We tore this roof down, we moved the parts car out back, we cleaned up this area out back here. I still got a few pieces to pick up here and there. But this is all in preparation for another project for the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. I sold my enclosed trailer that I was using for storing my four-wheeler and the Tennessee 3 sweet tea trike. And when the Goofy cart was all together, I was storing that in there. So because I sold that trailer, I need another place to store my completed or in progress projects that I'm not working on at the moment. So I determined that I would do this. I would put another addition on here and close it in and put a floor in it and all that good stuff. So we did all of that, and this did have scraps of metal. Well, it had this piece of fiberglass here down over the wall, and you can see that there are places where the wall is just totally rotted out, and the piece that was up there was so bad that it just kind of fell off. So I guess originally, before the lean-to that was here was on, you could see that stripe going across there. That went all the way across. That was the level of a previous lean-to. Well, I'm thinking that that's going to be the height of my new roof that I'm going to put on when I put this addition on. And part of it, well, we have enough tin here to roof that. We also have enough tin here to do at least 2 of the sides. And what I'm thinking is, because I have already started putting tin on this part of the addition, I think I'm probably going to continue that across this front side where the door will be, and to make it a more congruous, how's that for a word, congruous addition, make it look like it belongs there. Now, we found something very interesting the other day when we were cleaning up down in there. We think that that's probably the skull of a raccoon. And I happen to know that when the raccoon comes to my bird feeder up there on the old electric spool, when I send him off at night, he comes down and goes up underneath here. And well, the whole back side of this thing is open. And of course these 2 sections down in here, this section here was open right on through. This is where the woodworking shop is now, and I put the floor in there and put siding on the back here. That was closed in, but that was only closed in on 2 sides because this was an open front lean-to. This was the only section that was closed in entirely, and you could see right there the height that the floor is at. Yep. Well, I'm going to be dropping my floor for this section down probably about even with the top of the bottom row of cement blocks. That's what I'm planning on anyway. We'll see how that works out. So there's an upcoming project for the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. More carpentry stuff. That's not what we're doing today. Hold on to your hats and I'll show you what we're up to today. So I told you that I sold my enclosed trailer, and I took some of the funds from that and bought this open trailer. This is a 5x10, and it has very bad tires on it. They got good tread, but the sidewalls are cracked. And did I say the tires were very bad? Let me see if I can show you one of these tires here. Can you see in there? See how badly cracked that is? There are some places where you can see right down, right there. See that? You can see right into the cord. That's how bad them tires are. Them are old Buick rally wheels from the 60s. When I thought I was just going to replace the tires, I started cleaning one of them up, and I could probably finish cleaning them up, but we're not going to. I figured out that it was going to cost me only a little bit more, maybe not much more, to buy wheels and tires from Walmart, already mounted. And so we're going to put them on. And I bought some new chrome lug nuts to go with it. Oh yeah, you got to have chrome. You're going to have new wheels, you got to have chrome lug nuts, man. So they're going to be going on here. I have to replace this light, this tail light and the other tail light over there. Both of them are busted. And I had thought about dropping them down, but I think we'll probably leave them up there because it gives you an indication of where your trailer is at, and they're more out of the way than if they're down in lower. But those are, we're going to put the tires on today, but here is the main project that I'm going to take you along with me on. So here's the situation that we have. You can see how wallered out that hole is. And the hole, I think, originally was up here on the top. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some measuring. I'm thinking this is the top of the hole here. And so I think I'm going to weld a washer on here, on each side. But more than welding a washer on, I have another solution that'll make this last a whole lot longer. Now, the only reason I pulled this off to check it, this is a tilt trailer. You can see there's the pivot point there, and that hole's not wallered out because, like I said, the bolt and the nut on each side were tack welded in place. So the only wear point was on our tongue. And I knew that there was a problem because this whole tongue would swing side to side, like that when you tried to jack it up. And I had to fix this here. This was all bent up and the tire wouldn't turn at all. And they had the wrong kind of mounting hardware. They had this piece here they had on upside down, and they had thread all holding it in place, so that was all flopping around. The rest of it is mechanically pretty sound. And we're going to replace this winch with electric winch. The main project for today is to fix this. So follow along and we'll see what we can come up with. This is the electric winch I was referring to. It's only powered in one direction. It powers pulling back into the winch. And so when you're pulling something up, you have to release this over here like that. Loosen that up, and then you can spool this out like that. And then once you get the electric hooked up to it, you tighten that back up, and it has this remote control piece, if I can find it here, just like this. And it's only a one direction switch, like that. But I will mount that on there, and that'll work just dandy for that. So what we're going to do for our tilt thing is I went and bought this grade 8 bolt, and I have this sleeve that fits perfectly over the bolt, and we're to cut this piece of sleeve down to fit inside of the tubing, and that'll stop it from rubbing just on the ends. And we'll tack weld this in place and grease it up real good before we put her back together. Well, hold on to your hats, because here we go. Okay, so now we got to move it down over here to the shop so I get my welder out there. Hold on to your hats. Now there's a little flange down in there because of the way this was wearing. I can't get a grinder in there. So I'm going to try and chisel that lip off. This is the original bolt that came out of it. And you can see how it's all worn in this spot here and at the end, and when I cranked it, it split it right off. We want to avoid that again. That's why we're using the grade 8 bolt. And I have cut a sleeve like that, which should go right inside here. And I have some washers that I'm going to tack on the outside. See if I can find them here. You can't feel them in your pocket when you got gloves on. You know it happens every single time. You can see that I have this sufficiently long. And I'm just going to tack this washer on this side, just enough to give it a little bit of extra. And I have to grind the weld off. It can't stick up above the washer because with the washer on each side, this is just going to slide inside of the U-channel that holds this in place on the trailer. Okay, so now I'm going to grind those down flat, and we're going to roll this over, do the same thing on the other side. And well, actually, while I have this right here, I should try and tack it inside there. I don't know how successful it's going to be because it's kind of rusty in there, and MIG welders aren't known for doing well welding on rust. But we'll see what we shall see. I'm not convinced that it grabbed real well on the rust, but all it has to do is just hold it in place till we get it where it's got to go. And of course we're going to load this bolt up with grease before we put it in. So hold on to your hats. I got to flip this all over, do the other side, and I'll be bringing you back. Well, you can see our sleeve installed and a few tack welds there. And you can see I welded the washer on. It's the same on the other side, and I ground it flat so it's nice and smooth here. So the only thing left for me to do now is to throw a quick coat of paint on that before I drag it back over and we install it on the trailer. Okay, here's the plan. I have my wheelbarrow and I have the tongue set up on it, and you can see the locking point is right there. I'm going to try and slide the tongue down underneath the trailer and then put this pin where the locking point goes. Here goes nothing. Battery's about to run out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep. Trying to do three things at once. You saw it here. Watch the shade tree fix-it man crash and burn. And listen to the chickens. They're laughing at me over there. You hear them? They're laughing at me. Well, let's try it again. Well, I'm on a different camera now. My other battery died. I don't know if you saw it when I dumped the whole thing, the wheelbarrow and the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to try and get my wife to put the pin in the pivot point here. Okay, I'll help you try lifting.
How do you lift?
Just the end of the tongue.
Huh?
Not the wheelbarrow, just the tongue.
Okay, alright. No problem.
Okay, let her go. She's on there.
Easy on you.
Thank you.
Welcome. There's still, there must be 15 eggs or more in the nest box.
And are they still sitting?
They're sitting, but they can't cover the whole area.
Okay, we got to go up quite a bit. Oh, we'll see what happens. I'm going to whack attack it with the hammer. I can't tell. I can't see. I'm too far away. I go too far up, maybe? I think I did. Well, let's see if it's going to go in there or not. I actually put it up in there too far. And I had to pry it back down. So I was doing the shaky cam, so I couldn't hold the camera and run the gun and everything else at the same time. So I took the bolt out, came in from the other side, and it went right through. So now all I gotta do, theoretically, is take my nut and put it on the other side, where you can't really see what I'm doing, can you? And this is self-locking bolt. So there we are. It's all in place. Now all we got to do is find out if it works or not. Hold on to your hat. Okay, now for the big test. Let's see if this thing's going to work or not. Pull the pin out here. Oh, look at that. And the nice thing is, this isn't all wobbly. This used to be super wobbly before. Now it's nice and solid. Pin goes back in. I just got to put the clevis pin on the other side. I might want to ream that out, put a bigger pin in there, because I don't want that bouncing around like that. Yeah. Let's crank this wheel up here. It works pretty nice. So I call that a successful process. Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing. You see this light bar? It might work indoors, but out here, I was using it underneath the trailer. It didn't help me much. It's not bright enough and doesn't pinpoint the light where you want it. You know, they look slick, but I wouldn't waste my money on it if I were you. Just my opinion.